Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the viewers of the Mojo Story, our independent digital platform. I'm Barkha Dutt, and today I'm here to talk about the iconic American brand, Harley Davidson. I think even those who don't ride have all heard of Harley Davidson. It's the iconic bike brand, but the question here is whether Harley Davidson has been guilty of unfair practices in India. That is what dealers who have been working with Harley Davidson are saying that the company has been both unethical and unfair and is potentially leaving a host of Indian dealers bankrupt. These dealers are now contemplating legal action against Harley Davidson. And to find out more about what's actually going on with this American brand that is exiting the Indian market, let me welcome to the program Gaurav Gulati. On this platform, we believe in telling the stories of individual people. Data is easy. Statistics don't actually bring you the flesh and blood tragedy of real people. So we have here Gaurav Gulati with us, a passionate rider himself who became a Harley Davidson dealer and today is suffering like so many other people. Gaurav, welcome to the program. And let me start by asking you, we can see from the pictures that you've shared with us that you've been a passionate rider. To ride a Harley Davidson was obviously your passion, like it is for so many other riders, and then you became a dealer. What did you have in mind when you became a dealer, and how did that dream actually turn sour?
Barkha, it's basically always been about passion, and like a little boy who's there in a toy store who probably got an opportunity of owning a store sometime in life. So I practically lived my life living this dream of motorcycles and the garage and that typical lifestyle what we would all see and live with and probably wanting to have as a dream come true. So yes, as a start of the Harley Davidson journey in my life, it started in 2010 as a rider and wonderful connect with the company, with the people, with everyone around. And through that, I got an opportunity of heading the Delhi dealership as a CEO, wherein thereafter I was approached with an opening through the managing director, where there was an opening for a second dealership. Thereon, yes, as things shaped up and as things could come by, we got this opportunity turning into reality. And that's how it just came in place in 2016. And thereon, yes, it's all looking like a sour dream today, but probably I'd always relished of living and probably spreading my wings about the wind in the air and about the rides with all memories of the brotherhood, what we would be preached and what we would be talking about as people standing by us every now, every then. And it's just that probably it's like a nightmare today. I'm sorry, I'm just running short of words there or things, but really, that's my small story. And
But your small story could be the story of many dealers. So can you share a little bit about how you went from being a passionate rider to being an Indian dealer on the Harley Davidson sort of big program for India, and now today looking at possible bankruptcy? Can you share that journey?
so yes, this journey begins with the very much beginning of the Harley Davidson journey in India, where I was among the first few owners of a Harley Davidson motorcycle, and that to one of their most prestigious models, which was a CVO. And yes, the brand was expanding, and so was the riding circuit around Delhi, where somewhere probably I was seen as an instrumental part in spreading the brotherhood and the riding community. Where through this, I got an opportunity with the Delhi dealership of actually turning my passion into a professional. The whole professional gist went probably bigger with getting an opportunity of somewhere getting the first Hawk chapter in place, Hawk being the most instrumental part of Harley community, because that's what stands as motorcycling with Harley. And then we floated the first Hawk chapter. I took on the first Hog international Hog training internationally. We took out the first international Hog ride to Bhutan, where we covered all the miles and crossed the borders, international borders for the first time. And eventually the IHR, which is the India Hog Rally, which is the Sturgis of India. So having had all those uh, bit of stories around me, where I could just go on, but I'm sure you won't really have enough time for me there in that case to really share with
No,
my
I
point.
what I want you to explain to viewers, because Harley Davidson is not really responding to these allegations, right? They have not said anything specific. What I have understood from your story and what people like you who've been getting in touch with us, other dealers are saying, is that it basically took people like you all your money to set up a dealership. So first, give us a sense of how much money it takes to actually set up a single dealership. We believe it takes anywhere between 60 to 80 million rupees, and for a regular person that's a whole lot of money. What did you personally, for example, have to do to set up this dealership? I'm sure you had to sell things, sell property, get, channel all your savings. So talk a little bit about that.
But it started as an opportunity where, yes, of course, the big dreams and the big vision what Harley held for the country. They the flagship dealership with the most prominent dealership which had to come, being the capital of the country. They looked at an investment beyond par, which was not initially in discussion as much, but when probably we really got into it, it got beyond size. Where of course to fill in the dream which was as close to this that it was turning real, we looked at probably getting into taking loans, the mortgages, and also probably somewhere I can just say this, that mortgages which are beyond my control for the rest of my life, what if they have to be paid off if this goes bad, as bad as what I am seeing it to be, is is going to be a nightmare, where probably thinking about it is also the biggest depression, and is a, a term which I can't really say on media as bad, which is as bad as a suicidal thought in the mind, that where you stand as looking at settling your kids in your life today is when probably you are yourself helpless and looking at some help where you thought that you were settled and you were doing well for yourself in life. It was
You've
like I was
actually
a professional.
you actually are basically saying that you've been sort of thinking that life isn't worth living since you believe this
It's
dealership is going
not.
down
It's really not. Think about it. It's like probably I won't just say it's love hurt. It's something what where you had put this kind of confidence where you thought, yes, this deserves it because this is what is has been as the brand, about the values and the ethos of the brand, where they've stood by, they've taught about people, they've taught people to stand by each other even as strangers on the road, if they are probably brothers on two Harley Davidsons not even knowing each other under the helmet, behind the baklavas. But today where we stood with almost all our investments, with probably loans, not just mine but probably loans through my family members, what just can't be paid off by me but even by them, where my confidence on this brand was as high as this, that we thought that it's all rosy days with the kind and the commitments what were there with from them. It's
But
sad that even I have
tell
to
me, what all
share
have
this like this.
what all have you had to mortgage? What all have you had to mortgage?
I've sold all my properties, what I had made also for all my lifetime. I've also I can only go to this extent of sharing this with you, that I've also encashed on my PPF accounts. What can go below that in life? My savings account are like below minimum amount, minimum balances today. We don't know where we stand tomorrow on the road, or where do we go tomorrow, between me and my kids, or myself. I don't know where are we accepted, if probably a brand which we thought has, where I've shared my love and passion, I can today turn around and say that you can't follow your passion as your business, because probably that is most hurting wholeheartedly, and that is most hurting
So you have put your
financially and
property. So
everything.
you sold your property. You dipped into your PPF. What do you have left today as this dealership goes down and Harley Davidson leaves the country? And what has Harley Davidson said to you? Have you reached out to them? We have not sort of managed to get a reaction out of them to the allegations that dealers are making. But at a personal level, how did Harley Davidson get in touch with you? How did you end up becoming a sort of a dealer for them? And since you've lost all this money and you're actually saying to us, life is no longer worth living. You're a family man. You're a father to daughters. What has the company said to you?
Well, unfortunately, when probably there was an opportunity where they were looking at us becoming a dealer with them, and becoming a partner or a brother in arms, where we were practically the face and the eyes and the ears to the business in India for their expansion strategy. We had all doors open to any level where we could be approached or where we could approach them. And today, I think it's a DAC committee which is practically just the eyes and the ears for them, who's actually putting in their messages to us. Where nobody till 3 days back, where I actually got down to the representation of the country and asked him that, boss, 1.5 months, I've not heard from anybody. I hear that there is a distributor. I hear that the distributor is going to be coming to everybody individually. I have not heard about anybody. It's even as difficult for me to survive this whole transition period till the 31st December, which is my end of contract, where I don't know where practically am I going to take out these expenses, where I don't know what is the kind of commitment I can give to customers who come to me as joining the brigade, where I really don't know exactly. I'm sorry if I'm just overflowing with some emotions there, but really it's as sad as this, that we've lost the sleep of our nights. We've lost all the money we had. We've taken up loans beyond payment what we could ever make in my life, and not just me, but even people around me who had put that confidence in me have lost it all for me.
Yeah. So tell me this: has Harley Davidson said anything to you? Have you spoken to anyone in the company? Has the company got in touch with you? What we understand is that the investment, in terms of the return you're getting on your investment, it's only 10% of what you invested. Would that be a fair number?
Look, I think it was a bull ride what the company was holding on when they launched the Street or the other models, which they thought was a low displacement engine, and what they marketed as a brand for specifically for India market. And probably I don't know what the strategy was and what it wasn't there, but they saw a growth beyond the size, where they went down to the next stage of expansion in this phase where I became their dealer as well. So I I can just say that this whole thing eventually, probably with all the commitments what we got from them, you can't imagine 23rd September they announced that we guys are exiting India, and 24th September my team was still getting their uh, their mails saying that your trainings are due.
So what
We were
happened?
preparing.
What happened? Like basically, when did they tell you that they're exiting? One. Two, how much compensation have they offered? Three, have they offered any compensation? Four, what are they saying to you guys?
One, we came to know through the media first. When 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 23rd September, actually the media announced that they have exited. Before
Right.
that, if there was any media talk about this, we would go back to them and we would just hear that this is all speculation. We would get back to you. And that too, it was always the DAC committee which would go up to them instead of people really making individual independent calls to them. And we were always probably approached through the DAC committee, or we were always given any confirmations or news through the DAC committee. 5 o'clock, the DAC committee is basically the dealer association committee, which
Yeah.
represents all the dealers from India, confirmed by Harley Davidson India. And 5 o'clock, they had a call with some international counterparts of Harley Davidson and the Indian team, wherein it was announced that we are exiting the country. 6 o'clock was our call, where the managing director came in and it was announced that we guys are leaving. And we asked that how is things gonna come up? How are things coming up, or how are things gonna end up for us? They said we'll come back to you. There are plans coming up. And we've just got a compensation plan, which is being called as a basically as a goodwill gesture for serving the company, which is probably even less than the general merchandise stock what I'm holding today. Or to somewhere any stocks, we are not being even informed what do we have to do with them. If we How are things going to eventually sum up for all of us? Then there was an exit around 2 years back or a year back by another international company, where I
Yeah.
think that that committee has also gone up to them and even told them that, guys, you need to get a little realistic, confirming to at least a compensation which should be equivalent to a car brand, where it wasn't as much specialization put in setting up a dealership as you guys have put in with the dealers. I
So, yeah, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I can just say that it's heartbreaking. So
But
compensation for my location is I don't even want to announce it because I feel devastated, I feel frustrated, and I feel small after having invested all the figures what we've invested are, again, I would say lifetime savings or any fund what we would have even for our own illness has gone into this.
Tell me this now. The tough question is this. People may turn around to you and say that, this is a business risk. Anyone who starts a business takes a business risk. Businesses work, businesses fail. How is this different from a routine business risk?
This this business was never a business. Unfortunately, this business is something what was practically a new life for people. We would never sell a motorcycle. We would create relationships and a bond with every transaction we would make. It wasn't a transaction for money. It was probably to the extent that we would stand by people on the road. It wasn't a dealership which was selling numbers. It was a dealership which was turning dreams into reality, which was confirming your aspirations or somewhere something what you ever felt that could talk your success or share your success. This was a product of that. This was like a love story where you were as deeply knitted in it. And it's not that it was just a business and it just went down. It was more,
Yeah.
it looks more like a gamble where I probably went on a roulette table last night and I lost it all by having staked it on a wrong number, because the company always committed about the vision and about the plans what they held.
But you are talking about the romance of riding, that this was a love story, this was a passion project. But there are people who are going to say that the dealers have accused Harley Davidson very specifically of unethical, unfair, illegal practices. Can you list out specifically what they are?
I can just say they are cold, and they are they have been preaching a lot what probably they've not been able to follow. If for a day or an hour before the announcement we probably are rather getting all this, which is still being termed as a speculation, is a complete heartache, and probably any commitments or any visions shared were either nowhere real or it was just a myth where we all went wrong, probably have gone with a 115-year legacy which was shared with us and which showed about the vision for the country what they shared. So it's, for
Right.
me, it's pure. I don't know if probably could be taken against me or what could be said about this, but it could just be this, that it's pure
Say it,
cheating,
say it.
or probably it's pure cheating, or it's pure heartache what has really put me down beyond my any level of confidence or anything where I can even turn around and really say anything to my kids that you can't say this today or do this, because I turn around to be as the biggest failure around them for myself.
How are you planning to deal with this? We know dealers are contemplating legal action. What are you specifically thinking about?
Nothing really. If you would ask me, I go blank. I go blank. I, no matter whatever heart or mind I try and put in it. I think as a principal company and the kind of confidence and the kind of commitment we had shared with them, probably we didn't even really go to any contractual terms what could probably be in our favor or against us, or whether it was mutual or anything really. If you would ask me, I think they've left us really nowhere but to really stand and see that, okay, fine, if you think that you have some side of brotherhood as you have preached left in you, to really turn around and at least look at what you have left of people having invested their lifetime of savings and earnings on you, for the confidence what you showed them of a vision in the country what where we were their dealers. Yeah.
So, I know you have daughters. You were hoping to what, groom them into being riders and taking over this dealership one day.
You can't imagine, my daughter, even till 2 days back, told me that, Papa, I hope you're not selling your motorcycle because this was the first reason of your smile beyond our faces around you. Yeah. And I feel sad about it that they still hold that spirit that they think that their dad would probably be duped the day he would sell his motorcycle. And that's the kind of an emotion they still strongly show, that dad, we'll be riding with you sometime, or we'll be going ahead with it, and we'll be doing things. Where I feel that you guys have a big heart really to probably share this still. I'm even skeptical of sitting on my two wheels today because I've lost my confidence of controlling those two wheels today
So
because of those. Yeah.
according to you, how much money or compensation does Harley Davidson owe every dealer as it's exiting? And the last question is this: that some would say this is because of a bad economy. Is it that, or did something else go terribly wrong?
It's not about the bad economy. It's about since 2016, they've not had a stable management in place. It's not as bad about that. Other brands are also there. This company has held 55% share of the superbike business in the country. There was no reason why this brand could have even thought of it. And you can't imagine, since February we were telling them that fine guys, I think these are not as rosy days, or the current ongoing expenses are high. Let's look at probably things where we can, unless by the time the smaller displacement engines what you're committing, or the new Pan America and the other motorcycles come in, let's get afloat. With the lockdown and all, nothing.
There's a question here which from one of our viewers who says that it's not just dealers, customers are also being left out to dry. I'm a life member of the Harley owners group. What happens to us? What happens to service and repairs?
Well, unfortunately, there is no such act in this country where it's like a franchise act, which saves the franchisees suffering through any international company walking out on us on our back. But yes, as somewhere the customers pain, it holds on to the next 10 years of service and parts being serviced through the principal company in India. So I think that would stay really, but I don't know how good or bad would that be. And uh, really, if you would ask me, that we were always on the top of things, of getting things arranged, and probably now was when we had eventually learned the trick of having the basic parts which could keep the show going for people. Or I don't know how and how long would that take for people to really get back in the business again with that strategy, or how would it go? Tough for me to comment really, and I'm nobody to comment. I'm the biggest failure in the business today. I'm the biggest failure in the show. I really feel even small in commenting on something where I think that having
But
lost it
what
all, you
would
think you can still preach.
but what would make it okay for you? You haven't put a number on the table. You haven't said this is the amount of money that they owe dealers. This would help us rebuild our lives. What is that number? What would be a
Barkha,
decision that Harley Davidson could
I
take?
with the recurring losses, initial investments, and the mortgages, I think we've already come down by around 14 crore rupees here in this business, 12 to 14 CR. And if yes, I'm as heartbroken today that I can share with you, unless I don't know if probably I could be held against it somewhere legally or something, that I, as a compensation or a goodwill gesture, it's not even 10% of it.
So what
Where
are you planning to do?
probably hang myself.
No, what does that mean? Come on, you can't
It's
talk like that.
no,
You can't
no.
you can't
I'm
you
being
can't talk
really.
like that.
I'm as helpless as this today that I don't know that where do I stand tomorrow. Do I stand on the road, probably at Harley Davidson head office, or probably go up to them and tell them that at least look at me and probably think what you've done right on me? Because I think I did not get into this relationship looking at pocket change coming my way as something good what I tried creating for them, or something good what I tried doing for the community on the whole. Where frankly, even at my end, if with the bonding and the brotherhood I've held in the community as a co-rider or as friends, I think I've not even turned around with any expectation towards my co-riders, because I feel that even today I cannot talk foul about the brand or about how bad things have gone. But it's sad, really. It's sad.
So all of your dealers must be talking. I mean, I feel your pain, but you're all seasoned business people. You must be all talking amongst yourselves. You said you spent 14 crore rupees, and that's kind of down the tube now. What are you planning? Yes, it was a passion project, but what next? What next?
There's no plan. There's only as much as they think that we are worth is what we are looking at. Some people are probably getting as a continuity. Some people are getting as a as a compensation or a goodwill gesture. Some people are probably even still waiting that they would hear from them for any good what they would have done in the relationship. Like probably I am, or probably another one or two such fellows like me in the dealer fraternity are, where they are not sure where they stand.
So I still have to push you on this, that how do you explain to a general audience who is not into this business why this is not simply a legitimate risk that any business person or entrepreneur can take? A business can fail. What you need to explain to us is, you said Harley Davidson is cold. What do you think they owed you in attitude or business or money that hasn't happened yet?
I can just say this, Baka, that I think probably we all hold with our investments at places where we have a long-term view and a vision which is shared by a company, and a company which is like the oldest company on two wheels, sharing a vision and showing their map of success, what they've held, or history of success, holding marginally the largest market share, and still sharing plans where they plan to go, was an investment what we made, but never thought that it was as easy for somebody to turn a back and just look at walking out, where we can't even turn around and tell them that, guys, we all stand in queue with probably a 300 cr on at stake. You can't imagine that till the announcement of a distribution setup was announced in this country. I think it was a bigger it it was a bigger it was like facing a blank wall for everybody, where there was so much of pain that we didn't know that what the hell did we do wrong to have lost 300 crore rupees to a brand only for pure aspiration and love, what probably they thought was not even important for them to hold.
So, I do have to close. So, if there's something you'd want the general public to understand in the end, everyone thinks Harley Davidson and people still go, wow, right? What would you want them to know?
I really still don't know what does my voice matter to here and how much does it make sense, but I can just say that I really wish that this was the same Harley Davidson what came in place in 1903 to the inception of this brand in this country, to the management or to the people who were looking at running it with the same bond and the same uh, commitment. I hope if it's lost somewhere, it needs to come back, because this brand deserves more. This brand deserves to be where it was always, as an aspiration and as a fraternity, what worldwide people have been following, and not just in this country.
Okay, Gaurav, thank you for sharing your story. I feel your pain, but I wonder what happens next. We'll reach out to Harley Davidson. So far, we've had nothing specific on the allegations that the dealers have made. The dealers are now thinking about taking Harley Davidson to court, the iconic American bike company that has exited India or is exiting India, leaving dealers high and dry, some looking like Gaurav at bankruptcy. Thank you, Gaurav. Stay strong, and thank you for sharing your story. I think a lot of people have been moved by what you've gone through. So take care and good luck. Thank you very much. Bye.